Hey guys, welcome back to another Sorted George Garage with me, Julian. C-body Mopar, our electric window is completely dead. Let's see if we can get it working. Here we go. Obviously, first things first, you've got to take your door panel off. Now, before you can remove the actual door card, I've just found the build sheet. Oh my God. I've just found the build sheet. Wow. Well, that was a surprise. Right, before you can take the door card away, you've got to take off the actual wiring from the back of the switch. But underneath, there is like a little hook that is actually holding the terminal onto the back of the switch, which is basically located just there. You need to just bend that tab forward so that this connector can come away. So let me just bend that out of the way. Just get like a little screwdriver. Sorry about the camera shaking, but just get a little screwdriver or something. Tuck it in there. That will bend back like so, and now you're free to take that off. Right, now we've got the connector off the back of the switch. What I've done, I've actually removed the switch from the door card. It's easy. There's 4 pins, 2 top, 2 bottom, and they just squeeze in and then push out from the inside out. Nice and easy. That way then obviously we haven't got a cart around. The door card, it's not going to be in the way. We've just got the switch. Right, back over to the door. Right, so back over at the door, let's say there's the little push pin things, 2 on either side. They just squeeze in and come out the door card. So we've connected the connector back onto the switch. We've got a test light earthed to the door. Ignition is on. Now we've got 5 wires on the back of this. Now at the moment I haven't tested anything, but I'm assuming that we've got the yellow one is going to be the power in, because that's the only one, and then we've got 2 pink, 2 purple. Now I've noticed up here, this is the connector. Let me see if I can turn the torch on. There we go. That connector goes into there, and that is obviously going to go off to the motor. Now you've got a pink and a purple with a tracer on it, and I have seen that you've got a pink with a tracer, but you've got a pink without a tracer. There's the purple with a tracer, and there's the purple without. So I'm going to assume that that is power in, and then the one with the tracer is the power out to the actual unit. So right, let's see whether or not we've got power or whether or not it's the switch. I'm going to go for the yellow one as being the power, like I say, because that's the only one. So let's see. Yeah, there you go. Right, so we've got the light on. So we've got power to the actual switch. Okay, so we've got nothing on the tracer, nothing on the next one, the purple one, nothing down here on the pink one, and nothing on the purple with the tracer. So let's move the switch. So if I go to the up position, I'm going to go for that one. Nope. 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 Oh, here we go. There you go. Right. So holding the switch in the up position, that's the purple with the tracer. So I'm going to go holding it down, and I reckon that one. What do you reckon? Yeah, there you go. Look at that. So if I let go of the switch, there you go. And do it on that side. There you go. Right, so we know we've got power to the switch, and the switch is working. So it's got to be, the fault has got to be the motor. I'll tell you what, hang on. Let me just double check that and disconnect this. So if I push that in there and just hold that there, hopefully. Oh yeah, there you go. Right, so that's working. We've got power there, and go the other way. Yeah, there you go. Right, we've got power there. So we know that there's no break in the wire, so we are good to go up to that connector. Okay, so now we've got to take out the motor, and to do that we've got to take out the window regulator. Now you've got 4 7/16 bolts. Okay, you've got one there, and one there, and then that holds in the regulator, but you've also got another one down here which holds the bottom of the actual motor. So you need to take out all 4. Now on a front door, certainly because we've got this quarter light, the mechanism is here, and then you've got the arm that just comes up here. Now if I can show you from down here, hopefully you should be able to see that. You can just about see the arm coming up. It goes underneath that stop. There's the last part with the blue wheel that goes into the window runner, etc., like that. Now it looks like what you've got to do is undo them 4 bolts, drop the actual regulator down, and then slide the wheel out of the actual glass. The arm will come down and then come out of the door. Let's see if it works like that. We'll see. Okay, let's undo the 4 7/16. There you go. And that's just slid the window down halfway. I don't know if you can see that or not. There you go. Let's just slid that down. So hopefully this one, by undoing this one, we should now be able to maneuver everything and get stuff out of the way. Right, let me just take out that 4th one and also support the weight of everything. There you go, that's dropped down, that's lovely. Now I want to go the other way really, don't I? I want that up to the top, so it's like I can slide out that wheel out of the, hang on, unless it goes the other way. Perhaps it's easier to go the other way. Yes, it is. Right, okay, so come down, you come out. Right, this is going to be fun and games now, because you can't see what you're doing. Ow, that'll be my elbow. That'll go up, that'll go up. There we go. Right, that's up, come out of there. You're not going to like it. You're going to be a pain. Right, you go up there. There we go, back up to the top. Right, here we go. Here we go, come on. You know you want to. You just won't slide that last little bit out. Go out that way. Come on, out you come. There you go, boy, come on. You see how much fun and games it is? Why don't that go out that way then? Is there a stop on this end? Yeah, there is. There's a stop on that end. Right. So, this arm needs to come out that way from the window, the runner. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, bear with me, I'll be back. Right, I've sussed it. However, we have found something that is broken. This little clip here. And what that clip does, it goes through the actual glass, and this, turn on the flash, and this piece here, and then there's a plug that goes through. It's a large version of that trim clip there, basically. Okay, that's what it looks like. Right, a couple of days later, that clip I was referring to, it's one of these. Those are the clips that go through, where we go through the glass, and then obviously goes through here, which obviously then goes up and down. The end of the mechanism goes into there, i.e. that wheel. So at the moment, the clip that I have, I've given that to a friend of mine, Nick, who has got a 3D printer. So fingers crossed, he'll be able to print one out for me so that I don't have to pay stupid money in shipping. Never mind. Anyway, so we've got the mechanism out. This is an original DeSoto Plymouth Chrysler Dodge window motor. The other two that I've done on the rear, they were replacement motors already. Now they were clicking, and it was just a case of they'd seized up, obviously, like because of being sat for so long. As you can see on that one, I've got I've actually got the window down on that one. So, but this one, there was absolutely no life, no clicking, no nothing coming from it whatsoever. So I don't think we're going to have much luck with this, but it's worth giving a go. You know, it's worth a try, isn't it? Right, sort with George. Let's crack on. Here we go. Right, before we go any further, just heed this little warning here. You see these half moon pieces here, okay? And you've got this spring hooked into it. Now, those half moon pieces is attached to this. The motor is screwed to it with 3 3/8 bolts, okay? Now, this is under load, under pressure, via that spring which is hooked onto the peg. When you take out the 3 bolts, okay, the centerpiece here of the motor sort of goes through and kind of still sits there. But when you then pull this motor off, whack, everything wants to spring back because it's under load via this spring, and you can injure yourself. Ask me how I know. I almost lost the top of my thumb doing one of the back ones. So please go careful when you take out this motor. I'm going to place this in a vise and then take it out gently, as it were, like, you know what I mean. What you can do, as you can see, there's a hole there. You can put like a small, look, something like that. Poke that through so that it doesn't spring back too bad. But please go careful, because that is under load quite strong. Right, let's go and take this off, shall we? Here we go. Okay, what I've done, I've just put a couple of screwdrivers in, like top and bottom. I'm sure this is going to want to shoot down that way, so it's going to be that one. But just in case I'm wrong, that can sit in there as well. Is that going to sit in better that way? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Anyway, let's see what happens. Let's just take these bolts out. Like I say, it should sit there. Where it gets scary now. Right, now because we've got these in, hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. But if I pull, there you go. Which one was it? Yeah, there you go. They wanted to go down. So it was the top one. There you go. Right, so let's pull that out and release it. Oh, it's not going because it's against the bench. Oh well, there you go. How about that? Right, so that's going to want to go up. So if I move this out, hopefully, there you go. Now imagine letting that go. Right, release that. And that'll probably spring hard. Come on. There she goes, look at that. Right. Danger over. Right, so looking at the motor, okay, so if you've got the symbol facing up there, the old Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth facing up towards you, you've got a line here and you've got a line there, okay, and you've got the terminals that are sort of uppermost, okay. So if you turn it over with this lot facing up, you've got, this is painted and that's away most from the motor, and also this bracket here is uppermost, okay. So there's some orientation for you, or certainly for me anyway, when it comes to putting it back together. Hopefully it will work. We'll have to wait and see. Right, let's take it apart. And to do that, what we're going to do is just give this a bit of a squirt with the old penetrating fluid, as you do down in the holes on the threads. Jobbed. And they are 1/4 of an inch, okay. So let's see if, oh yeah, there you go, that's all right. That's nice and easy. Lovely. Right, let me take these out. Oh yeah, the good thing with this bottom bracket as well, okay, it should, there you go, it's not actually a full circle, it's like a half moon, so they just hook in. So that's one good thing about them. They can sit out of the way. Let's take these out. Jobbed. When you take this apart, you're going to have the worm drive come out of this top part, he says. There it comes. You come on. Ooh, there you go. Now what we want to do is take this tube off of this bottom unit. Now this has got magnets on either side. Hopefully, turn on the torch. There you go. You can just see the windings and everything else up against their magnets. So that outer sheath should just, there you go. That will push through like so. There you go. That's off. And there's your magnets stuck on the side there. There's your seals. They're obviously shot. Right, now, I think you'll find, oh yeah, look at this. I think you'll find the problem lays down with that lot there. Look at that corrosion. Does this, oh look at that, it does turn. Oh, okay, so it does turn. So what's wrong with it then? Let's give it a go. Oh, that's come out as well. Sorted, George. Right, so this is obviously the base of it, where all the brushes, etc. are. We've got brushes and springs in there. One thing I did notice was that this cap, if you like, this in here, okay, where the bottom of that has just come out of, okay, that actually would be part of that, and that would not come out of that on the reproduction ones. Everything was held in place by these little sort of feet here, okay. So there's a little terminal down in there, look, like a set of point, oh hang on, they look like they're shot. Oh, there it is. There's the end of that. Great, okay. But looking at the state of them, what's names, bushings, obviously everything wants a clean. I'm just cleaning up the points contact. Now the only thing I can think of as regards putting that flat plate, if you like, back onto this piece of metal is maybe sticking it on with a bit of JB Weld or something, you know. That's the only thing I can think of. Would like to certainly mend it, let's put it that way. That gives that a good old clean, doesn't it? Sorted, George. Right, I'm just going to crack on and clean this up, and I'll come back. Right, next what I want to do is give this lot a continuity test, just to see whether or not our connections are okay. So, now it looks like it comes through this terminal, which is connected to this wire, over to there. Okay, so let's just press that up against there, that'll do. Right, there you go. I've just had you. Right, come on, let's stop playing games. Play fair. Thank you very much. Right, so now we want this one against this terminal. So you stay there. There you go, so that works. Where's that go? That goes to this body here. So if I click on that one in there, there you go. Right, so everything is got continuity. There you go. Even the copper wire is fine. Lovely. Right, so everything's got continuity. So now if I go, I'm going to need my little debris wire things here. Bear with me. Let me just get set up. Right, so what I've done now, I've just put a one of the terminals onto that wire. Obviously, there you go. It's obviously going to connect, as in the continuity. But there is like a oh, what do they call it? Like a cork washer. Okay, so that is not connected to that. Okay, but if I close these points terminal at the back, then that should, there you go, that is now going to beep. Right, so we know that that is going to work. So everything's got continuity. So I'm guessing that the reason why this wasn't going to work was because of the back of them points. I think this is like a heat biometric strip. So if it gets too hot, then if anything, that is going to come away like so to break the contact so that this lot doesn't overheat. That's the only thing I can think of, because it's not a solid piece of metal like you get on points, as it were, you know. This is a flimsy piece of metal, but it's one of these sort of sprung loaded type pieces of metal. So I reckon that is a biometric strip like you have on your automatic choke. Right, let's see if we can put this back together and actually get it working. Okay, so what I've done a bit of a cheat at the moment, and I've actually wrapped some wire around this plate and this wire, this yellow wire, so that there is a permanent connection, because obviously there's like a plastic type cork washer between this terminal and this plate, so that obviously that doesn't touch that. So yeah, it's a bit of a cheat going on at the moment. I've already touched the bushes together here, and that now does make a permanent like there is continuity. Now I have looked into the JB Weld. JB Weld is not conductive. It does not conduct electricity, so that idea is out of the way. However, I've found some, I think, what was it called, wire glue, and basically what that does is it's like a bit like wire. It's a bit like JB Weld, if you like, and it is conductive. So I'll have to get hold of some of that, something like that anyway. But in the meantime, got a bit of a cheat going on. So let's put this together and see whether or not the actual motor does work. Worth a try. Here we go. Right, so I'm just about to put this back together. Now, you know the bushings that basically go up against here, okay, where my finger is, all right, that copper thing. They're sprung loaded, all right, they've got springs behind them. And it is an absolute nightmare to try and hold the actual bushes back in the case so that you can get them in. You want to know how to do it? Show you. Cable ties. There you go. That's holding them back. Lovely. Now I've only got tiny little ones, and they're only on there gentle, because obviously it's copper wire and you don't want to break them. But that is holding them bushes back. Lovely. So that now can slot in to that hole. But before we do that, I want to get this working properly. Now, I can turn that okay with a pair of pliers, and she turns, all right. And also, if I pull that, you can see that that wants to come out, okay, but it doesn't want to come out all the way. There's no circlip or anything on there, but I have seen this Phillips screw. So I'm going to undo that. Hopefully then, this body should hopefully come apart with that, because, oh, there you go, look, it's working now with my hand now that I've just done that. But I want this to turn a lot more free than what it is. So, yeah. Right, let me just take this apart. Well, it's coming out, let's put it that way. That's good. I want to sort of get rid of the old grease up there and put some fresh in. Right, let me see if I can get this apart. Oh, here we go, hang on. Here we go. That's coming apart. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's better. Right. That's what's behind it. So, is that going to come off now? You'll see. Oh, there you go. There you go. And that's what it looks like behind. That's a bit caked up in there. So I did put some WD-40 in there earlier, so that's obviously what that lot is. So yeah, let's give that a bit of a clean up and put fresh grease in there. Right, okay, so I've been cleaning this up. I've just put this lot through the wire wheel just to get most of the old stuff off of the cogs. This isn't your normal lithium grease, this is moly grease. This is what I wanted to show you here. Hopefully you can see this. Basically, over the years, the grease has gone hard. Now, I appreciate that I have put WD-40 in this, okay, but that basically, as you can see, is keeping its shape, all right, as you can see there, right. So basically this stuff has gone hard, and that's why I want to give it a clean out and put some fresh stuff in. Sorted jeweled, that's given that a good clean up. That's lush, and let's put some fresh in. That's going to sit in there lovely. Sorted jeweled, look at that. That's banging much. Nice big dollop. And you go. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. That can sit over there. And now that can sit over there, as it was, like so. Right, let's just do that up. At least I know it is now full of grease. Better than having the old stuff that's a bit solid in there. Lovely. Right, now, you can go out of the way. You can go out of the way. Let's get you in. You sit in there. Square up that washer. That's better. There we go. Lovely. Let's get rid of these cable ties. Chopped. Right. That's turning with a bit of grease in there. Hopefully this should work. Right, so we had, that was that way. That was that way. I was going to pile a load of grease in there, bear with me. If you remember, terminals down, yellow paint up, that goes in. Magnets are obviously all right. Let's turn that around. There's your little slot. You sit there like so. There is a tooth there somewhere that's got to sit in. Where's the tooth? Shall we start again? Right, we have reset and action. You should line up, that's better, like so, that's better. Now, get me grease, you can just dollop in there, that'll do. Find your way in there. There it is, there you go, you've just seen that little wheel twist, so that's got to be, oh no you don't, there you go, that's better. Right, so that's there you go, that's there. Let's just put these back in. Wrong way, try that way. Right, you go in there. Now I'm not going to say that this is going to work, but at least we would have had a go. Okay, so let's put this to the test. I've tested continuity on this tail. That's fine. That's plugged in. I got green on green, black on black, and obviously this end we've got green and black. So I can put one on that terminal on the battery there. And let's see if this turns. Oh, there you go. That's just turned that way. Now let's go the other way. There we go. That's working fine. There you go, guys. Now you know how to repair your own little window motor. Sorted, George. That's banging. Right, a couple of days later, we've been having a clean up of this plate here. This is the one, obviously, like I say, the blue wheel goes in there. That slides up and down with the glass. The glass sits in here, hooked in place with these two. So what I've done, I've run this through the wire wheel. We've made them hooks there nice and clean and flat. I've also used a couple of my little sort of thin files, because I don't want any sort of, just in case there was any rust in there, you don't want any sort of rust poking up, because obviously if that's poking up and the glass is sat on top of it, that's when the glass smashes. So that's nice and clean now. What I should do, I haven't got anything, they cut this, it's like a thin pad that you can buy as a replacement to sit in there. Don't have anything like that. So I'm just going to use a bit of gaffer tape to sit in there, because that is actually quite soft. So I'll probably put 2 or 3 sheets in there, as you do, 3 pieces. Right, this is what Nicky has done, my mate, here on the 3D printer. He's made another clip for me. This is the original one. And as you can see with the dirt around the top there, that broke quite a while ago and was just basically sat there. Obviously now we lost one of the feet, that's why it all fell out. And this is the replacement that he's done for me. On the ones that you can buy, obviously this bit slides through, but what he's done, he's made it like that for me so that at least I can sort of hold on to it. And he's made a couple of plugs to go in that way. So if necessary, it can be a serviceable item, but obviously shouldn't need to be serviced now, because obviously, like, I've tidied that up and we've now got the motor running. I'm just waiting for Craig, my mate, to do the he's going to solder that little piece on, like, the points bit. So he's going to do that. That should be coming over later on this afternoon, so then obviously we can get this lot back together. In the meantime, I'm just going to crack on with this run a bit. So all I want to do is just get a couple of pieces of this and fold that in backwards like so. If it will go, I'll tell you what, let me see if I can roll that in. So you sit in there like so, and then hopefully you should be able to roll that in. There you go, look at that. There you go, that's lush. And then I can use my file to sit that in nicely. There you go, that's in. That's in, lovely. And then obviously I can just trim this off, get rid of the excess. But I want to put another piece in just so that it's doubled. Right, let me just trim that up and I'll come back. Right, there you go. Let's just tidy that one up. And I've got my little file here. So if I put that in, you can see how high up the glass sits, because obviously my file is flat. Yeah, so you can see whereabouts it sits. So it doesn't actually sit down on this area here or down here. So it does sit like about 1 millimetre above this base, as you can see there. Look. So, right, so that's one. Let's do another one, just be on the safe side. Right, you go in there, and then let's just roll that in again. There you go, just like that. Right, there it is, jobbed, piece number 2 trimmed up. Just got to go through the hole, as you can see it in the light. But that'll do, that'll be nice and soft for the glass to actually sit in there. So I'm happy with that. Let's just do this. Right, let's crack on. Okay, a couple of days later, unfortunately we've had a little bit of a fail. Nobody's fault. Right, let me just show you what's happening. Okay, now I gave this to me mate Craig. Now he is absolutely brilliant when it comes to welding and soldering, okay? And I'm not exactly the best. I don't know why. Soldering and me don't mix, never mind. I give it a go, but hey, I'm an amateur. Right, in there is the end of the points bit, obviously, that goes on that biometric strip, okay? He's had a go at trying to solder that on to that, okay? And unfortunately, he can't get it to stick. He cannot get it to solder, weld, whatever you want to call it. But he has proven that my theory is correct, that it is actually a biometric strip, and obviously if it gets hot it should come away and break the contact, which it does. I've just tested it and I want to show you. Look at this. Right, so you can see the way that that sits. My soldering iron is on. If I rest that up against there you go, she's come right out, there it is. And as it cools down, there you go, flicks back again and makes the connection. So to repair this, what I've got, okay, in my little Hong Kong Book of Kung Fu bits and bobs here, right, what I'm going to do is probably use something like this, okay, and I shall cut that off pretty short. I want to drill a hole in that strip, so hopefully that screw head will act the same as that piece there. It's going to be wide enough, or just wide enough to make the connection, and then obviously it will come away if that gets too hot. That's the theory. Let's have a go. I love a bit of make do amend, don't you? Okay, so I've just drilled a hole in there. As you can see, it is a 2mm hole. What I've done, I started off with a 1.5mm and then went to the 2mm. And that's actually the smallest nut and bolt that I've got. Now, I was going to use that one, but that's even smaller. So I think what I'll do is I'll use that one. That was surprisingly easy to drill through. It's not rock solid. It's not hard. It went through quite easy, actually. So if you're going to do this, or if you have to do this, at least you know. Wow, that was delicate. That really was delicate. Did not want to know. I could not get that nut on. It was a pain in the derriere, but we got it on in the end, and it is tight, and as you can see, it's making the connection. So what I shall do now is just put you in the stand, hang on, and we can do a continuity test. So if I go on that terminal there and this one here, and if I move that strip out the way, I'd say that's a win. Right, let's put it back together. Okay, we're back together. Let's just test continuity. There you go, we've got that. That's great. And now let's check power. That can go on there like so. You can come out of the way. Black and green is what I've used. Hopefully this should work. Oh, that's rather slow, isn't it? Wow, that's not right. Something ain't right there. Wow. No. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? No, something ain't right. Right, let me just check continuity again. No, we've not got continuity. We've not got continuity, so unfortunately that didn't work. Okay, I've just cleaned this up just to see whether or not there was any sort of grease in the way or anything like that. So let's give it another go. Don't think we're going to be lucky. Oh, there you go. I think we've got a bit of resistance going on with that bolt. Yeah. I think we might have a bit of resistance going on with that bolt that I put in, nut and bolt, in which case the resistance is causing that biometric strip to heat up and break the connection. I'm going to leave that for a while. Let's see if it... No. Oh, there you go. There you go. I think that's what's happening. So I think best bet is do away with the biometric strip and the bolt, and just do some, like, put some wire around it, which is what we done in the first place, like when we tested it. So because that worked perfect then, didn't it? Let me do that and let's see how we get on. Back in a second. Right, I've just taken this apart. Right, let's see if you can see down in there. There you go. You're getting sparks there. There you go. So it's not quite touching. It's not doing what it should do. So that's where the problem lays. So I think we're just going to have to wrap some wire around that and see how we get on. I've just soldered on some wire between those two terminals, done a continuity test and everything's working fine. So let's put it back together. Here we go. Okay, we're back together. Let's put that on for a test. Here we go. You can sit on there and lush. Nothing wrong with that. Sorted, George. Let's go around the other way. Lovely. That's banging mush. So obviously it was that strip that was messing us about. Right, let's reinstall it all. Here we go. Okay, reinstallation. First things first, obviously, because that's sprung round that way, you want to bring this all the way back round. Shove that in there. And what you want to do, where my finger is here, look, you just want to get another screwdriver in that hole. There you go, to prevent that going back round again, right? That's step one. Step two, obviously the motor's got to go into these 3 bolt holes here. Now, the reason why you want to get this up here and not have this hanging down and then put the motor on and then use the motor to wind its way up here, it won't do it because you've got all your teeth here, okay? But there's a flat edge there and also up on the other end. You can't bring the motor over that way. You have to start it on these teeth already, okay? So that's why you want to get that already in amongst the teeth. All right, so right, next we got to put the motor onto that. So you got to put that on like so. Get your 3/8 bolts, and on the back here, this is the center of the cogs on the motor. You want to make sure that that pin does actually come through the bracket. Okay, so that way then you know that the actual cogs are sat on the teeth. Okay, right, let me tighten that up and I'll come back. And that's now sticking through, so that's good. Lovely. Right, now what we can do, let's just test up that motor again. I've got the wires on. Let's just give it one last test. Make sure it climbs up and down. Right, you're going down. And now you want to go up. Banging mush. Right, let's just grease up all this lot. We'll be done. Right, see, look, that'll go. There you go. That won't go any further now because of that flat edge, top and bottom. Sorry, George. Right, I'm not going to lie, this was a bit of a mare to get out. Reason being was because obviously because the motor didn't work, nothing would adjust. You couldn't sort of move this up like that and down, etc., or move that arm, whatever else. Like, it was just stuck in that one position and would not move. Okay. Now, I mean, if it had been a windy window, yeah, okay, you can do it. But because it's motorised and the motor didn't work, you're stuck. So what I had to do was this. what I had to do was to remove that bolt there. Okay, now that is attached to the arm that goes up and down like with the runner, like so with the glass. If you can see through there, you should be able to see where the glass slides, and then that extra leg coming off to the left of the screen basically comes onto there. And by removing that bolt, that arm was able to sort of move backwards and forwards a little bit, just to give you that extra couple of mil of room to then be able to get out that mechanism. I highly recommend that, especially if it's like you're in this situation like I am, where it's motorised and the mechanism wouldn't move. So let's crack on with putting all this lot together before we put it in. And what I mean by that is we now have to put this runner onto the wheel. Okay, so it is a 7/16 bolt. You've got to take that out so that that wheel can then slide in. Doesn't matter whether you use that one or whether you use that one, but because obviously I had the broken clip, I'm going to put that back on, and then once that's in, then obviously I can put the window in that channel and then put the clip through there. So yeah, I'm just going to take out one of them, slide it on, put the bolt back in, and we're good to go to put this back in the car. Right, there you go, that's that, jobbed, all greased up, etc., ready to go. And also what I've done over here on the glass, I've just put a sling, or I've made a sling out of cable ties to hold it up out of the way, because obviously we've got to get it in, etc., etc., and the glass just wants to drop. So, right, sorted, George, let's put it in, here we go. Right, so you need to go in like that. Now this is what the problem was. You've got to get that in, but the motor goes behind this runner. Then you've got to bring that up and then bring the motor this side of that runner, and that's where the pain in the derriere is. That's where it lies. So, right. There you go. That's that side. You can now get that side. In you go. It's very tight. Right. There we go. There you go. There it is. Right. Sorted, George. Where are the bolt holes? Come back a minute. There's one there. Let's just get one in. Hang on. Because you've only got this gap to use, you can't sort of grip anything here, there and everywhere, you know. Oh, come on. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, come on. Oh, it's just that little bit. Got one. Have I got the right one? Yes, I have. Good lad. Right, you're in there. There's one there on the motor. That went in a heck of a lot better and easier than when it came out. Trust me. There you go. Sorted, George. So you can plug in there. Jobbed. You want to try and get your bolts back to the witness marks if you can, because that way then everything should be lined up then, shouldn't it? Lovely. And last but not least, this one here. Right, and again, try and pull that back into place because of the witness marks. There you go. That's got you. Lovely. And that's back to the witness marks as well. Now what I've got to do is put this onto the glass. Right, there you go. Now let's get rid of that sling for the glass. There you go. Get rid of this. Bring the glass down nice and easy. There you go, that's better. You sit in like so. That's got that lined up. Get the clip in. Now I know it goes in because I've already tested it. Come on. In you get. I need both hands, sorry guys. There you go. Now I've just got to get the clip in there. Right. Here we go. Wish me luck. Okay, clip's in. And she works lovely. Look at that. That's absolutely fab. Sorted, George. Brilliant. After all that messing about, it was worth it. Right, that's it. Job. Panels back on, etc. And she works lovely. Lovely and smooth up and down. I'm well pleased with that. She's all greased up in there. Considering we started with a dead motor, I'd call that a win. Right, that's it for this one, guys. Thanks ever so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope this video's helped you out in some way, whether it's to do with the motors, getting them working, or the mechanisms coming out, going in again, or even just that little window clip. I hope you get something out of it. Like, share, hit the subscribe button as well if you wouldn't mind. I'd really appreciate that because it would help this channel grow. And a huge thank you, guys, to those that have already subscribed. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Nip over and check out Chris as well over at Sweet Machine. He's got some good stuff going on over there, as always. And I will see you on the next one. It's Sort of George Garage. Banging.